Hi guys, it's Paul from the IPSCStore, and today we're going to talk about the 3 dry fire kits that Eemann supply us with. We've got a USPSA version, we've got an IPSC version, and we've recently released an IDPA version. They've basically got exactly the same components in them, it's just the target style that's different for each individual discipline. So why don't we open one of these boxes and see what we have inside. The packaging's really good and it'll be shipped to you as quickly as we can get it to you. Now that we have COVID as a major part of our lives, a lot of us can't get to the range as often as we'd like to live fire, and dry fire has become really important so that we maintain those skills that we have so that when we do get to the range and live fire, we don't have to expend too many rounds to get back into it. And I'm talking about maintaining simple things that perish, like your draw, your index, and your trigger control on your first shot. I've never been an advocate of pulling the trigger or activating the trigger too much in dry fire because we don't have any feedback and we can develop real bad habits on the trigger when we dry fire and focus too much on multiple shots on the trigger. A lot of you like to set up a lot of targets and you're actually activating that trigger on each target. Whereas in production and in other divisions, I think the most important shot is the first shot when we're dry firing, and thereafter you can simulate pressing the trigger whilst indexing your targets and focus on a fast transition, focus on your eye movement. And we'll talk about the quiet eye as well, which is Kiribati's system for developing your tracking speed. So let's have a look and see what's in this kit. So we have some pins which you can use to attach these dry fire targets to any soft surface like a board. All the targets have got pre-drilled holes in them so that they're easy to attach. I'll show you that in a second. There's the range of poppers. And there's some more smaller ones in there. Really nice white ones. You can turn them around. You've got a brown surface. The targets, now this is quite nifty. There's 2 holes drilled into this target. So when you're using the pin to hang it and you use this hole, it'll angle the target. It'll pull down because of gravity and you'll have a different angle to shoot at as displayed in a match. If you use the top hole, it'll stand up correctly in the traditional manner. And there's holes in all of them. So there's a half target, we've got half targets that way, there's a whole variety of different targets that you'll come across in matches to practice on. And because of the scale in size, you simulate distance in a relatively short space. And there's the 2 biggest ones. So these can be attached, as I said, with the pins, or you can use some blue tack, or just stand them up against a surface, or some double-sided tape also works. There's a good quantity, and they're not made out of cardboard or paper, they're made out of MDF. They're nice and thick, long-lasting and durable. Really good quality. The A zone, C zone, D zone are clearly identifiable on them, and even the small ones have got that etched into them too. Also included in the box is a little instruction booklet, and as I said before, Kiribati's Quiet Eye Dry Fire Training Program, which is all about improving your eye speed between targets. If you can get your eyes onto the next target quickly, your gun will automatically follow, and that's explained in the little booklet. So that's a really nice training skill to have and to practice, and it'll serve you really, really well in your shooting. So how do we dry fire? Let's do some dry firing. Now, you don't have to do anything fancy. You've got some good scale targets which simulate distance. You don't need a lot of space to do this. Discipline yourself to manipulate the trigger correctly to get a good first shot, and work on your basic skills, your stance, your draw, your grip, your sight picture, your focus on the sights, be it a sight focus or a target focus, depending on the distance and your skill level. And just start with a slow warm-up and work your speed up. And you can use a timer when you do this, and you can set a part time. There's a lot of things you can do, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Just get some practice in to maintain those basic skills. Now I get a little bit bored dry firing and not having feedback from the target. So I know my draw's okay, I know my index is okay, and I'm working the speed up as I warm up, but I want some feedback from the target. And we're not shooting live ammo, so we're not getting to patch some holes to see if everything is coming together right. So I like to use a laser training system, and the one I'm using gives some feedback off the target. And what I've done is I've cut one of the targets, I've cut the A zone out of it, and I fitted it around the laser training product. So now when the laser hits that screen, you get feedback. If you miss it, you get nothing. So now there's a bit of feedback. And I like that because it just confirms that your trigger press or your trigger manipulation, your sight picture is correct. So it's the same thing. Just take your time, do your draw, dry fire. And that's about it. So this is the laser training dry fire system I was using. It's the LASERPET 2, and it comes with 6 different programs and different targets you can slot in from the top for different disciplines. I really like this one, and as you saw, I'd taken one of my dry fire targets and attached it, so I've got something to aim at that's familiar, especially when I'm training dry fire at a bit of a distance. I'm aiming for the center of the A zone, and that's where I get the registration from the laser. This is the interactive multi-target training system. This one doesn't come with a laser, but it does come with different targets for the different disciplines, and you can buy it in a set of 1, 3, or 5, and you can link them so you can use more than one target in your dry firing when you use the interactive system. They're both really, really good. You don't have to have them to dry fire, but it really makes dry fire a bit more exciting having the feedback from the laser hit, which again confirms your trigger and sight picture. And we're going to cheat and shoot from really close. It works all the way to the edges, but as soon as you miss it, there's no sound. And there we go. I hope you guys got some ideas about dry firing there and the different kits that we have available at the IPSC store. They're really, really great kits supplied by Eemann, manufactured with good quality products. They'll last a lifetime. The laser training systems, really, really nice, also available at the store. And I really hope to see you guys on the range soon. I know a lot of you are doing it tough with the restrictions and the shutdowns, but we really need to get out there and shoot some matches, and I look forward to seeing you. Hopefully come and see us on our Instagram and Facebook page. We've also got a YouTube page where we share a lot of videos. And until we see you again, thank you. Cheers.